Are you copying a PI on eToro and currently losing money? And yet when you check the PI's portfolio, they seem to be making money over that same given period. Well, in this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly why that's happening and what you can do to avoid it. Stay tuned to find out. So the first and most easy to explain reason is funds being added or taken away from either your account or the copier's account. So for example, myself as a PI, if I start the month and halfway through I'm making 5%, if I add funds myself, then what will happen is that will then dilute my gains on my portfolio. As far as the statistics go. If I'm in a loss and I add funds, then that would decrease my loss. So if you add funds, it takes you closer to zero. If you take funds away, it magnifies your losses or gains. So as a PI, your statistics can be manipulated slightly in that way. Now, first of all, don't be too concerned about that because of the fact that eToro does manage their PIs to make sure that PIs are not kind of manipulating the data in this way specifically. But it can be done accidentally just because the PI needs to add funds or they need to take funds out. And incidentally, it affects their numbers in that way. The same is also true, obviously, on your copy portfolio. If you add funds or if you take funds, that can change the statistics on your account as well. So if you add funds and your PI doesn't, that will reduce what your returns seem to be. Now, my friend Victor Zhang, or Toro Victor on eToro, did a video in December last year, just on the screen now, explaining that in a little bit more detail. So if you are still a bit unsure and you want to know more on that, by all means, please check out his video. Now, the next reason that your portfolio can be very different, and I'm going to go off on a very slight tangent before I come back. It will make sense in the end, so just bear with me on this. Right. Recently, you may have heard Cathie Wood updated her price target on Tesla, and she said that she was going to hold the shares and that she would sell if they hit $3,000 a share, and they're currently $750. Now, this was on the 22nd of September, and yet on the 29th of September, we've got news articles here about Cathie Wood selling large amounts of Tesla. So you could be kind of thinking that she's changed her mind or there's some kind of reason that she's trying to offload her shares of Tesla. And the simple fact is, it has nothing to do with any of that. It simply comes down to managing a portfolio. And this is something that's really important for PIs as well. Now, to manage a portfolio, what Cathie Wood is doing is she's held Tesla for so long and it's grown, the investment that she's had has grown so much that it's become too big a part of her portfolio. And that's why she's selling the shares and bringing it down to a smaller, more manageable part of her portfolio. Now, when it comes to PIs, when you copy a PI, you copy the amount that they invested as a percentage of their portfolio. So, for example, if my portfolio consisted of 10% of Tesla then, trebled in value, all of the rest of my portfolio stayed around the same. Tesla would then end up making up 30% of my portfolio. Where if you then copied me, I'd have 30% of my portfolio in Tesla and you would only have 10. So I'm going to go over to my watch list just here. And this is a number of different PIs. And I'm going to go with a PI that has outperformed me this year. Okay, so I want to make clear I'm not picking this PI because I think that they're bad or that they're not very good, anything like that. I'm purely picking this PI because of the fact that they have an amount of desynchronization, which I've noticed, and they were on my watch list. Okay, so I'm going to go to Josh Fan's portfolio here. Now, when you go to his portfolio, you will see the invested column here. So if you were to copy Josh at this particular time, you would have 13.52% of your portfolio invested in Alibaba. However, only 7.74% of his portfolio is impacted by Alibaba. So therefore, if everything else stayed the same, if all those stocks stayed at zero, didn't move at all, if Alibaba dropped, you would lose more money than Josh would. Alternatively, if Alibaba gained, you would make more money than Josh did. So it's very, very important that when you're looking at a PI, before you copy, you need to kind of go through their existing portfolio and see what kind of statistics they've got. So for example, again here, Google, where Josh has made over 100% on this particular purchase, his portfolio is, or your portfolio as a copier would be 6.48, whereas his is almost 10% of his portfolio. And that's a lot worse a little bit further down with AMD, where he's made 260% profit on his position, which again, like I say, if you opened a copy, it would be 4.56% of his of your portfolio, whereas his is over 12%. So you have like a massive divergence there of if those particular stocks move, they will affect his portfolio statistics where in a completely different way to how they would affect your portfolio statistics. So it's really important for PIs to regularly close these positions and reopen them if they need to correct the size of their investment. So if you're looking at PIs and you're kind of looking through their portfolio and you're like, well, this particular PI, it's got plus or minus 10, 15%, and that's the best they've got. Whereas this other PI has got, 100, 200% gains on these particular stocks. That does not necessarily mean that the PI with 100 or 200% on their individual stocks has performed better. Okay, it's always worth checking the stats to see how they're performing. And like I said, as you can see here, Josh is doing reasonably well this year and the last couple of years. So this is not a criticism of the particular PIs to say that they're not good. What I'm saying is you need to be careful as a copier that if you are expecting to receive these exact stats, that's not going to happen because of the fact that the portfolio divergence of the PI's copy. So always check their portfolio to sort of make sure that these numbers are quite low. Okay, because if they're quite high, it means that your results will not imitate these results. And that's one of the main reasons why a lot of copiers will copy a PI and then after a few months they'll go, how comes I'm losing money or my results are so different? And that's the reason why. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more of this content, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.